Okay, welcome to the sanitation and cleaning video. I'm going to walk through on how to clean and sanitize all of your equipment before you actually start making any root beer. So what we're going to do is fill up one side of the sink, of course, and then we're going to put a cleaner in there. But there's a couple products I would like to introduce you to. One of them that you may or may not have heard of, depending where you are and trying to figure this all out, is the One Step. This is a no rinse cleaner, but I typically still rinse off a lot of my parts. One thing I noticed, because this is a granular powder, is that if I didn't rinse it, the powder sometimes would get stuck to certain pieces and would just stay there. So that's kind of why I started rinsing. However, I was introduced to the 5-Star PBW. This is also made by the same people that make One Steps, so I thought I'd give this a try, and so far I've been pretty pleased with it. And both of these are cleaners, but for a sanitizer, what you'll want to try is also 5-Star, the StarSan sanitizer. Now, this is the 32-ounce size bottle. If you're going to be making a lot of root beer and washing your parts as regular as you should be, this is probably the bottle to get. Value-wise, for the much smaller bottle, which was 8-ounce, I was paying almost $9 for, and paid just about $18, $19 for this one, which is 32 ounces. So do the math on that, and you'll see why this is a much better value. So this is actually what we're going to be using tonight. We're just sanitizing our pieces here, so I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this in. Now, this side of the sink is probably, I'm just guessing, maybe 4 gallons, 5 gallons. The instructions on the StarSan say to do 1 ounce, and they have this measuring deal here. They just squeeze the bottle and it fills up. 1 ounce per 5 gallons. So I'm probably going to use just a little bit less than 1 ounce, so we'll go ahead and pour that in. Maybe a touch more. Okay. So now we got our sanitizer in the water. And we're just going to go ahead and mix it up a little bit. And you want to make sure that when you're making your root beer, that you sanitize everything that is going to touch any of your ingredients or your final product. So, I mean, measuring cups, measuring spoons. I actually just got done making some, so I also had already sanitized some of my parts, so I'm just kind of sanitizing what's left to show you this. And you can kind of see how the water turns a little bit cloudy. You also want to obviously make sure that you're sanitizing your bottles, your jugs, and if you're using 2-liter bottles like I do still, you know, every little thing that's going to be touching your root beer. So now we're going to let that sit in there for about 5 minutes. I'm going to throw in some of my bottles here too. Make sure that those get fully submerged. Okay, so we let our bottles sit long enough. What we're going to do here is bring out our parts, rinse them, and then put them on a towel to dry so we're ready to use them. And this is also a no rinse cleaner. But like I said, I still choose the rinse. And that 5-Star sanitizer that I had shown you, the not the One Step, but the other stuff, I forgot the name of it already, but that 5-Star cleaner that I showed you is a protein-based sanitizer, cleaner. It's a protein-based cleaner, and so what that means is, at least to you as a brewer, is that if you do not if you decide to rinse your bottles And again, this is why you don't have to, but whether you do or don't, if you do not get all the cleaner off, it's actually something that the yeast will feed off of because of it being a protein-based cleaner. So it will not harm the yeast, and will actually give them something else to feed off of in addition to the sugar that's going to be in your root beer. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue washing this. I just kind of wanted to show you the process, at least how I do it, as far as you want to make sure that they soak in there for probably about 5 minutes or so, not too long. And let them soak in there. Once they soak for about 5 minutes, go ahead and take them out. Obviously drain all the water out of them, and then bring it over to the other side and just kind of rinse the inside and out. And then what I'm doing over here, probably can't see it. You might be able to see this one, but I'm just tipping them upside down and then letting them dry out that way, so that way all the water kind of works its way down to the neck of the bottle and then down to the mouth of the bottle, and then eventually onto the towel, and leaving us a relatively dry bottle on the inside and the outside. So I'll continue doing this until we got all of our jugs and bottles and 2-liter bottles sanitized and rinsed and everything, and we'll go ahead and turn on the camera when we're to our next step. Thank you for coming to my kitchen again today. We're in a different corner of it this time, so what we're going to be doing today is going through on how to wash the ale pail. This is the second part of our cleaning and sanitizing video, and I'm going to go through and show you how to just do a simple wash with this. Plus I'm going to be washing some measuring cups that I've used for making a batch I have over here behind me today. So first off, the product that we're going to be using is the Star PBW. Now, this stuff is made by the same people, or so I have been told, made by the same people who make One Step. You're going to want to rinse after using this. This is a granular kind of powder. You know, it's all white, but similar to like a laundry detergent or something kind of consistency. And what I've even noticed in the past is if you don't rinse, and I think it was actually using the One Step, if you don't rinse, those little granules will actually stick to certain surfaces. And in this case, when I was washing my bale top bottles, it actually stuck to the wire that holds the top. So make sure that, I would say regardless, no rinse or rinse, I would rinse just to make sure you get it all off. So what we're going to do is, this ale pail technically is 6.5 gallons. However, it marks up to 5 gallons right here. We don't necessarily need to fill it 5 gallons. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up to 3 gallons, which is going to help save on some of this. And I'll fill it up to 3 gallons, and then I can use that water to clean the upper part up here that's dirty and sticky and everything. In addition, once I'm done cleaning the pail, I will go ahead and I will actually have these submerged in the bucket also and clean those, and I can just drain through the spout, which is in turn going to clean out the spout as it's draining. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, what you should know is to do this, it's the same thing as the One Step. You're going to use 1 tablespoon per gallon. So we're going to do 3 gallons. So if your math is as good as mine, that'll be 3 tablespoons. Right? Carry the 2 times x to the 3rd power. Yeah, so it's going to be 3. There we go. Okay, and we'll get a little hot water going here. Now we get to sit and wait. So if you have an ale pail or any other kind of bucket that has a spout on it, make sure that you get the part of the spout that is on the inside of the bucket too. I know that seems like a no-brainer, but just make sure you thoroughly wash around it and get inside of it if possible. As stated in a previous video, we want to make sure that anything, no matter how big or how small, anything that the root beer is going to touch is clean and sanitized, because any of that stuff could, you know, ruin the root beer, the flavor. You know, we want to make sure that if there's any airborne yeasts that are on any of the surfaces, that those are taken care of and eliminated, because we don't want that to throw off anything. So make sure everything is completely clean. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and try to clean around that the best I can and on the inside of it. Keep in mind that we're also, once I feel like I've gotten the pail pretty clean, I am going to be going ahead and draining it through this to clean this also. So, and it looks like this is pretty well cleaned. So before I actually drain it though, make sure you clean the outside surfaces, because, especially the spout here, because when you have your bottle, when you have a spout inside your bottle and that root beer fills up, or whatever it is that you're going to be brewing, this is still touching the root beer. So, and I know that probably seems like we're going a little far here, but you know, never hurt to be too safe. So might as well make sure it's clean. Plus, there's the fact that it's sticky and you can get junk stuck on that. You know, definitely doesn't hurt to make sure that that's clean. So I'm going to go ahead. This is usually what I do, is throw all the stuff in there. And I'm going to go ahead and let that soak for probably about 5 minutes. And then I will take those back out and start wiping them down and rinsing them off, and we will pick up from there. Okay, so these have soaked long enough here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and just start rinsing them off. Now I'm noticing that there's no powder stuck on these, so you know, and I think part of my problem may have been that I didn't have the powder dissolve enough, or didn't mix it up enough to help it with dissolving that one time that it got stuck onto my bottle. So just something to be aware of. So I'm just going to go ahead, throw these on the towel after they're rinsed. You might be noticing that 2-liter bottle here. I'm going to go ahead and also soak that one for a little bit. I may even just rinse it with the solution here. Now you may notice when you're using this that when you pull the stuff out of the water, it might feel a little slick or a little kind of slimy. That is normal, so you can go ahead and just rinse it, and that will take care of that. Okay, so that's done. Now, since the water isn't high enough in the bucket to submerge this, I'm just going to go ahead and put it at the end of the spout here. Now, of course, while we're filling this bottle up, that's also cleaning out the spout itself. So we're going to go ahead, let that just sit in that bottle for a little bit, and we'll continue letting that drain. Okay, well, this is pretty much done here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And then what I'm going to do is actually just dump the rest of it. There's some stuff down there at the bottom, so I want to make sure that that gets out and not pass through the spout here. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out like we're doing with everything else. And also another thing you may want to do is if you end up, when you end up cleaning your bucket and you turn the spout off early before it's actually drained, when you tip it, you may want to go ahead and open it back up. And sometimes there's a little bit, stay right there, there's usually a little bit that will get trapped in there. And so you just want to make sure you get that out, so that way when you start filling your bottles or your jugs with the root beer, you don't get any of that solution mixed in with the root beer. So just make sure that you open that up and then, you know, tip the bucket there. So I'm going to go ahead, spray this out. And I don't just spray the bottom, of course. We want to make sure we get as close to the edge as we can. And just try to spray everything down. There we go. That's what a clean bucket looks like. So that's all there is to it. You know, again, just make sure you know, that you're practicing you know, constant cleaning. I know it seems like a hassle, but you know, the only time that I don't clean like this is if I'm making more than one batch back to back. You know, so if I'm making one batch, I get it done, I run it through, and I'm going to be making another batch right away, that's fine. But once you are done, and it's going to be a while till you make your next batch, obviously you don't want these to sit around sticky and, you know, collecting, you know, flies or debris or anything else. So make sure that you clean these out. That way when you're ready to use your stuff again, everything's clean, everything is sanitized, and you're good to go. So you know, that's all there is to it. It's that simple. It doesn't take much time, and in the end, it's going to make sure that you get good results with your brewing. So thanks again for coming to my kitchen, and I'll see you again.